And welcome to another Cardinals Nest here on HBC Channel 25. Dean Beckman, Sports Information Director Donny Nadeau, also joining us on the Cardinals Nest today. And a little bit later on in the interview segment, we will welcome in Donny's arch nemesis in the athletic department. Actually, a close friend, Eric Lindquist, the swimming and diving coach, will be on with us. And also a junior diver for the Cardinals team, Liz Flynn, will be on the show.
Yeah,
today.
maybe if we're lucky, my arch nemesis will show us his tattoo. He got a nice Aquaman tattoo that maybe he'll demonstrate for us. Eric is a great friend, and we've had a lot of fun with him on the show before. And it'll be interesting this year because we can ask him a lot of diving questions, and I'm not so sure he's going to have the answers. So we can put him on the spot a little bit. And then I do have one serious question for Liz, so I'm looking forward to that segment.
Good. Well, if Eric doesn't have the diving answers, I know Liz will. So we'll be in good shape there. Before we get to that interview segment here on the Cardinals Nest, we're going to recap the previous week in Cardinals Athletics. And Donny, this has been a really, really exciting week. The opening of the winter sports season for the basketball teams. We'll get to that in just a minute. And we'll begin with women's basketball, Donny. They had their season opener on Tuesday night against the University of Wisconsin-Platteville. It was a great beginning, a great ending, a little rough in the middle, but they got the job done with a 9-point win in the season opening game.
Yeah, anytime you can start the season with a win, that's always such a positive because you build that momentum. Everybody's excited for the season to start. The practice has been over. You've had 4 weeks of practice. You finally get to play a game, and when you can come away with a W, I know that obviously if you talk to Coach Pearson, there are million things she could probably tell you that they need to work on to get better at, but the bottom line being is that they got that big W, and that's that's always a nice thing. They started out very strong, jumped out to a quick 10-point lead, and actually led 21-11 early in the first half, but then had to kind of hold on a little bit there in the second half. And the nice thing is when Platteville made a little run and actually took the lead midway through the second half, they didn't fold. St. Mary's came right back. They got on a run of their own and really finished the job, which was great to see. They were outstanding at the free throw line, hitting their last 15 free throws, which, in the game of basketball, close games, a lot of times you get to the line, and they did a nice job of finishing it off.
And Jess Miller is off to a great start. She was their leading scorer a year ago in the exhibition game against Winona State on Saturday night, and we'll see some video highlights of that coming up here. She had 12 points in that one. She was the leading scorer again on Tuesday night in the regular season opener, so they need to get her started because when they struggled last year, she tended to struggle in those games, but when she's on, I think she carries that entire team.
Absolutely. She's a phenomenal player, and like you said, she led the team in scoring last year, and I know that Coach Pearson's looking for more of the same this year, and obviously when she scored 12 points against Winona State, a very good Division II team in that exhibition game, that's an outstanding performance, and then for her to get 19 against Platteville is really very solid. And obviously Jess Stone had 10 points against Platteville, which, again, she was one of those all-rookie team members for the MIAC last year, and Coach Pearson's looking for big things from her. And the nice thing is aside from the two Jesses, they also had 3 players that had 9 points, and that's, they're getting scoring from some people other than Jess, and I think that that's very important. Sherry Kulig had 9 points, Brittany Begowitz had 9 points, and Kim Kamensky had 9 points. So that when you can get some balanced scoring aside from just those 2 people, obviously that's going to be a big benefit to them.
Yeah, and on these video highlights, we're seeing some great individual drives to the basket, good passing, good teamwork, and this is a team that has played together. I think basically they've got everybody returning from a season ago, and Renee Pecorina, now a sophomore point guard rather than a freshman point guard, which is a big difference when you're heading up and kind of quarterbacking that offense.
Absolutely. To put a freshman in that position is tough on anybody, and I thought Renee did a very good job last year. This year she's got that year under her belt, and I think that Coach Pearson's going to probably put a little more on her shoulders and say, run this offense and get us going. And that their perimeter is very good. You got Sherry Kulig and Jess Stone and Jess Miller, and then Renee. You've got some very solid scorers there, and hopefully they can continue it. They've got a really fun weekend this weekend. They go to Colorado College to take on Colorado College and Hardin-Simmons in the Colorado College tournament. Hardin-Simmons, a very good NCAA Division III team. They've been to the national tournament 7 times since 1999, including a Final Four appearance in 2006. So there's going to be some very good competition there, and Coach Pearson's excited because, when you can take an early trip like that, it gives you a chance, just your team, to get together and, do a little bit of bonding, build that chemistry up, because when they come back from Thanksgiving, it's conference from here on out. So these 3 games are pretty important just to kind of build some chemistry and get ready for the conference season.
And that was the first home opening win, Donnie, since 2006. And I think it's crucial. These are Mandy's players, pretty much. These are players she brought in, she recruited. So this is her team now, and we're starting to see the dividends of that.
Absolutely, and I know she's very excited. She was very happy with the win. And like I said earlier, I know with Coach Pearson, there's also about a dozen things she could say. We need to do this better, and this better. But the bottom line is they got that season-opening win, and a lot to build off of.
Yeah. And the men's basketball team did the exact same thing. The only difference with their home opener, or their opener, is it was on the road. It was not a home game. Crown College is who they played, and came away with a big win there, 78-57, after losing that exhibition game against Winona State on Saturday, 84-50, but they rebounded nicely and really controlled that game against Crown from start to finish.
Yeah, Coach Landrum was very happy with the way they played, and obviously, we've talked all of last year about the St. Mary's Big Three, and in Will Wright and Lucas Holland and Chris Palmer, and against Crown, the 3 of them were there leading the way again. Will Wright had 19, Chris Palmer had a double-double, 18 points and 10 rebounds, and Lucas had 16 points. So those 3 are doing their brunt of the scoring. But one of the things that Coach Landrum had mentioned is that he got some great performance from some people off the bench. Gary Seifert played very well. Michael Burfine played very well. So he's getting some production from some people other than Lucas and Will and Chris, and they're going to need to do that because teams are going to start to focus on those 3, and obviously that's not an easy task when you have to shut down all 3 of them, but they're going to need some good bench performance, and Monday night against Crown, they certainly got that.
Yeah, expectations very high of the men's team, and as we see these video highlights against Winona State, I think you'll understand why. They have those great individual players, but like the women's team, they return basically everybody from a season ago. They get along well. There's a lot of enthusiasm, and I think a lot of respect for each other and for their coach, that they want to go out and play well.
Yeah, there's that familiarity, and I think that any time that you can start a season already kind of knowing what everybody's going to do and what their roles are and what their expectations are, I think it makes it easier for everybody. And I know that like the women, the guys were excited to get their season underway. You practice for 4 weeks and you play, nobody but yourself. Obviously, they got the exhibition game in against Winona State, but you're playing basically against yourself for 4 weeks. You want to get out there and start playing some games, and it was nice to see them get off on a winning note. And obviously now they get to open their home season on Saturday with a 7 o'clock game against Luther, which will be an excellent test for Coach Landrum, and they'll really be able to see after this first week of competition where they're at and what they can expect as they head into their conference opener on December 1st.
Yeah, Luther should be a good matchup. I think probably a couple of evenly matched teams in that one, so that should be exciting. And they're from Decorah. Hopefully they can bring a little Mabe's Pizza with them on the bus trip up and not eat it before they get to the gymnasium.
I'll give their SID a call and see if they can deliver some Mabe's Pizza. I heard nothing but good things about Mabe's Pizza.
That's
Never
right.
had it. But,
oh my gosh, Donny, you've got to do that. Eric would agree with me. But in women's hockey now, so we'll forward to that.
No more pizza talk?
No more pizza talk, although I would love to, but it's making me hungry. In women's hockey, they played at Concordia. And typically a trip to Concordia, you're not going to play well that first game. And we saw that with the Concordia men down here, which we'll get to in a little bit. But in the women's contest, they ended up tying in that first game 3-3 on Friday night. Saturday, a whole different story. The Cardinals win it 5-2. Haley Coolset, my goodness, a freshman, a hat trick already, and all of those goals coming in the third period of Saturday's game.
Yeah, it was one of those. It's interesting. I talked to Coach Manor after the game on Saturday, and I said, "You guys must have played pretty well." And he said, that first period was probably the worst we've played all year. And at the time, they were winning 1-0. And I'm like, "Oh, did you have a little conversation in the locker room?" He's like, "Yeah, we talked a little bit. Played a little bit better in the second period. Led 2-1 after 2, and then Haley took charge after that and scored 3 goals in the third period, and they win 5-2. awesome way to start the MIAC season for the Cardinals. Having to go to Moorhead, as we've talked many times, tough place to go play just because of the bus ride, and it's a long ride up there, and for them to get 3 out of the 4 points is outstanding. Haley Coolstead has just been phenomenal. 6 goals already this season, and
Player of the week in the conference.
Player of the week in the conference, and the interesting thing is in their season opener, she should have had her first collegiate hat trick, actually hit the post late in that game, which would have been her 3rd goal in that game. So she's obviously making a name for herself very fast. I don't think she's going to sneak up on too many people as we get into the conference here, but an outstanding player, and she's doing a great job so far.
Yeah, tell me about Cecilia Hardacker a little bit. She also is playing well, maybe overshadowed a little bit by Haley, but Cecilia really doing a tremendous job.
Yeah, the interesting thing about this team is there's so many young ladies who are new. You have that many freshmen on the team. Cecilia's having, she's got 3 goals already in just a short amount of time in the season, 6 games in, and you've got 3 goals as a freshman. That's outstanding. And the nice thing to see is that the goals have been spread apart. You take away that hat trick and 2-goal game from Haley, and most of the players are getting a goal a game, and that's what you want to see. You want to see that being spread out over a number of different players. I think the one veteran who's returning that's really impressed me so far is Nicole Olson. Nicole led the team in scoring last year with 12 goals. This year she doesn't have a goal yet, but she's got 7 assists. And anytime you can pick up 7 assists in 6 games, you're getting the puck to the people who are going to score goals. And really, as a former coach, that's what you teach your kids, is it's not who scores the goal, it's who gives up the puck to the person who scores the goal. And right now Nicole's doing a great job of that, and hopefully it'll continue. They've got a big conference series against Hamlin this weekend, and then they go into their Thanksgiving break, and it'd be nice to see them come up with a couple of wins against Hamlin and be 3-0-1 in the conference after 4 games.
And Donnie, we're going to see some video now of some men's hockey action, and they hosted Concordia Friday, Saturday. Concordia, wow, what a game on Friday night. There was a lot of tempers on display on Friday night. They ended up, Concordia did, with 30 minutes and penalties. St. Mary's ends up sweeping the weekend series, winning both Friday and Saturday. The Cardinals now have more wins this season already than they had all of last year. They're 3-3.
Yeah, they've had an outstanding start. We talked last week about how they're playing with that win over St. Olaf. Well, now they pick up 2 very big wins against Concordia, and anytime you can start your conference season with back-to-back wins against a very good opponent, who's that? There's a lot of bad blood between St. Mary's and Concordia, and it was good to see St. Mary's come up with 2 wins, and they got outstanding performance, virtually top to bottom all the way back. 2 goaltenders, Jason Horseman and Andy Schei, both played outstanding. Got great defensive performances, and goal scoring, like we talked with the women, from a lot of different people. Tom Healy had a goal in each game, and in every single game, so they had 7 goals on the weekend. All 7 were scored by different people. So that's what you want. St. Mary's still hasn't got a player with 2 goals in a game this year, and that's definitely a positive, because they're not having to rely on one person to do all their scoring. Kevin Wentland right now leads the team in goals. He shares that with Tommy Healy with 3 each, and then Wentland and Brad Denny and Austin Belko share the team lead in points with 5. So they're very balanced in scoring, getting outstanding goaltending from both Scheib and Horseman, and really off to a great start.
Yeah, we're seeing some of the rough play from Friday night. Again, 30 minutes and penalties, including 2 game misconducts in that one for Concordia. So kind of a rough night for them, rough weekend for them. And great start for the Cardinals men. They will be home on Friday night against Hamlin. 7 o'clock start to that one. Everybody's welcome to come up to the SMU Ice Arena and check out a really brand new and great, exciting men's hockey team this year. They'll be at Hamlin on Saturday.
Actually, the big thing on Friday night, one of the things that the men's hockey team is doing Friday night is a teddy bear toss. And what it is everybody's encouraged to bring a teddy bear or a stuffed animal with them. And when St. Mary's scores their first goal, or at the end of the first period, if St. Mary's doesn't happen to score, they're asked to throw that teddy bear on the ice. What's going to happen is we'll then clean up the ice with all the bears, and we'll donate those to Toys for Tots, and they'll be delivered to children in the Winona area. And it's a great cause, and it's an outstanding thing. It's a lot of fun. You're going to hopefully see hundreds of teddy bears on the ice, and hopefully early in that game with St. Mary's getting a quick lead. But all the proceeds for that, the teddy bears, they are going to sell bears at the game for $1. all that money is also going to go to Toys for Tots. So it's a really worthy cause and should be a lot of fun with a great atmosphere at the hockey game.
Donnie, we just have a short time left in this segment, but two things we need to get to quick, and the first one is the cross-country results from the NCAA Central Regional.
Boy, David Feather, I mean, we talked about him being all-conference. This is outstanding, finishing 27th overall with a career best time of 26:12. He's an all-region performer. We haven't had an all-region performer since John Velez did that, and then you know, it's been 11 years since we had the one before that. So we've had 3 all-region performers since 1999, and for David Feather to do that in his junior years is absolutely outstanding. Emily D, running in her final collegiate race, had an outstanding performance for the women and leading them to a 19th place finish. So a great performance from both cross-country teams to end the season.
And then Donnie, in volleyball, Sarah Gardner, more honors for her, the senior outside hitter for the Cardinals, as she gets all MIAC, all Central Region honors, and also national honorable mention honors this year.
Yeah, you talk about a repeat, three-peat. You know, for the second year in a row, she was first team all-conference, first team all-Central Region, and then on Tuesday night she was named honorable mention All-American, and that's quite an honor for any individual. And obviously, Sarah, congratulations. It's much deserved. She had a fantastic senior year, and obviously all those postseason accolades, very deserving of her, but also says a lot about her teammates and what a great group of young ladies that whole team is. And you know, Brittany Cherwinka did a lot of the setting to get Sarah all those kills. So it really is, surprisingly, she was the honorable mention All-American, but it really was a team effort to get her that honor. But again, Sarah, congratulations, much deserved honor.
And coming up next, we will talk swimming and diving with head coach Eric Lindquist and his junior diver Liz Flynn. That's next here on the Cardinals Nest on HBC.
Wouldn't it be nice if there was a mobile phone company where you could actually get great customer service? Well, the wait is over. Full mobile phone service is now available at HBC. With plans starting as low as $40 a month on the nation's largest coverage map, HBC Mobile has a plan for everyone. Individual, family, data, they're all available. And they all come with the personal customer service you've come to expect from HBC. Stop in today at 58 Johnson Street, Winona, to see how you can get a free phone. HBC Mobile. Service you can trust.
Nothing gets you ready for game day like Vikings Game Plan. Every Sunday, join host Paul Allen along with head coach Brad Childress as they break down the X's and O's. Plus, log on to foxsportsnorth.com and click on the Vikings tab for even more Vikings content. We are your headquarters for the Vikings, Sundays at 10:30 and online all the time. We are Fox Sports North.
Sometimes life isn't about doing the popular thing or even the cost-effective thing. Many times it's simply about doing the right thing. When HBC did not receive the grant needed to construct a network in Minneska, we were disappointed. But we immediately went to the drawing board, and we are going to be delivering what we promised. Sometimes it's all about making the right decision. So welcome, Minneska.
This is our Saturday.
Our pride.
Our history.
This is our axe.
No, this is our axe.
This is our true color.
This is our halftime.
This is our tradition.
Our nation.
This is our time.
Our big house.
This is Big Ten football.
And we're back on the Cardinals Nest. Dean Beckman along with Donny Nadeau, joined now by Eric Lindquist, the head coach for the swimming and diving team at St. Mary's, and also Liz Flynn, a junior diver. And Liz, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? I know you're from Matamidi and Hill Murray High School, so tell us how you ended up at St. Mary's and how maybe you got started with competitive swimming.
Well, I was looking at St. Mary's. It was kind of between St. Mary's and St. Ben's, actually. And a lot of my friends, my two best friends, are going to St. Mary's, and I decided that I really liked Winona. I liked the area, and I was looking at the swimming and diving program. I started swimming first, actually, in 7th grade at Hill Murray. They just started the swim team, and then I swam and dove in 8th grade. And then 9th grade, I just went all diving.
Okay.
I liked it.
Did you find that it came fairly naturally? For me, it's as unnatural being in the water as anything, but do you find it pretty natural?
Yes. I always liked swimming, like even as a little baby. But diving's taken a lot of work, especially since I'm not a gymnast. I've always kind of wished I was a gymnast, so I would be better at diving, but...
And what's your major at St. Mary's?
Pre-physical therapy.
Okay, great. And you're a junior now, and Eric, she has certainly come on strong here, her junior season.
Definitely, yeah. A strong finish last year and maybe a stronger start to this year.
Liz, talk a little bit about your, because that was the thing that really caught my eyes. You had a great MIAC championships, finishing in the top 8 in both competitions. Came on this year and you've done outstanding. What did you do in the summer in preparation for this year?
I actually didn't do as much as I was hoping to. I'm hoping to do more next summer. I dove a little bit with my old high school coach in preparation throughout August a little bit, and just kind of, I'm hoping to do the U of M next summer. I was going to kind of plan on doing that this past summer, but I got a little too busy, so.
Eric, you're into the season now. Talk a little bit about how things have been going. Are you about where you want to be? You know, it's one of those sports where, as we always talk, you're pointing toward that 3-day window, in February when you're at the MIAC Championships. How are you right now? Where are you at? And are you happy with what you've seen?
I definitely am, yeah. I'm glad you pointed out the 3-day finish to the year, because I think we have some first-year athletes on our team that are saying, wow, what are we doing? Because we're working extremely hard right now. And you have to convince these young athletes that the end is worth it. We've had 3 competitions so far, the Augsburg Pentathlon, the Tommy Relays, and then last week we went head-to-head with St. Thomas and Carleton, who are tremendous forces. But on the other hand, it gave people like Liz and some of our other swimmers who are at the top of their game some great competition too. So I'm happy with where we're at. Long way to go still.
It's interesting your schedule, because you've had some Saturday competitions. Now this weekend you go to McAllister for a duel on Friday and then turn right around on Saturday and compete in their invitational. Is that part of the planning to have a couple of meets where you go 2 days in a row as you prepare then for that finale?
Yeah, very much so. Very purposeful. We've done it for a few years now. McAllister coach and myself both kind of have the same philosophy on that. There's only so much you can do to prepare for a 3-day meet. And one of the things we can do is try and have a day and a half. Don't want to upset any professors and be gone for 3 days more than we have to.
Eric, you mentioned some of the performers really doing well right now. Rachel Steinkamp, a senior diver, she's been right there with Liz, doing outstanding.
Yep, should have been flanked by Rachel as well on this one. We're fortunate to have Jeremiah Jackson, JJ, our diving coach, with some flexibility in his schedule and some real commitment to these divers that we've got a good crew of this year. So Rachel is really excelling as well.
Is there a rivalry there between the two of you, or do you look at it more as you each push each other, or how does that work with the two of you?
Well, definitely not a rivalry. We just really try and support each other. I know I like her support a lot, and I'm like, you got to be there if I'm like trying something new or anything like that. So it's always just strong support.
I'll ask you the question, because I don't know the answer to this. How do the divers practice? Because I know, like, Eric has Wednesday morning practices. Do you guys go to that too, or how are practices different for the divers than they are for the rest of the team?
JJ is really flexible, and he lets us kind of dive. If we can't come to the evening practice, which is usually 6:30 to 8, we can go at noon or whenever he's available, really. And that's really nice, the flexibility. And we'll just go through our list if it's close to the end of the weekend, or if we're going to try new dives, we'll focus on a couple new things. Just kind of going through our dives. It's pretty repetitive.
How about, Eric, for the rest of the team? Like you were saying, some of them are already saying, you know, what are we doing? You know, we have this conference championship in several months, and we're just busting it now. How do you keep things fresh? How do you keep them, you know, wanting to continue to hop in the water and work as hard as they are?
I think the quick answer is seasonal planning. But to explain that a little bit, it's to not have it all be a burden. Try to have some peaks and valleys in there. We're training extremely hard, and that might mean that last weekend we kind of swam right through the weekend. We knew what we were up against. This weekend, we've got a real shot at making a mark against McAllister and some of the other teams. So there's a chance we may ease up just a bit and keep it a little bit fresh. They can see some success and hopefully try to keep that energy up for the end of the year.
Eric, tell us about the men's team. Who are some guys to keep an eye on there?
Well, certainly Andrew Noyes is diving well. He's our only returning male diver. He's diving very well for us on that. Mark Ross from Iowa is having another great year. He's back 1 year wiser, 1 year stronger. He's got a real sense of what the MIAC is all about now. He's a very intelligent swimmer. We've yet to really even broach the subject of what his conference events might be. Certainly the 200 backstroke will probably be among them. But he's talented enough that he can swim multiple events. But he's also smart enough to pick the events he can really excel in. So we'll have some long discussions about that. A freshman, Brandon Mattis, is a breaststroker we brought in, certainly graduating John Fox, who was an impact on our program for 4 years. We don't want to compare Brandon to John, but I think Brandon wants to compare himself a little bit and try and repeat and do what John had done. So those are three significant players.
Well, it's great you have that kind of ambition on the team. Just 30 seconds left here in this segment. Tell us about this McAllister Invitational this weekend. Who's all going to be there? Yeah,
a number of teams there. St. Catherine's is there, Hamlin, McAllister, St. Olaf will send part of their squad, of course St. Mary's, and then we have the dual meet against McAllister Friday night. Okay. So it's going to be a big full weekend for us, but like Donny mentioned in the earlier segment, traveling with your team early in the season is a really great thing, so we're looking forward to it.
Okay, so Liz, I have to ask you, one more. Okay, you climb up that 3-meter diving board. Are you afraid of heights?
Yes, actually, I am. But it's kind of funny. I'm scared of heights, but 3 meter is definitely my favorite over 1 meter.
And what's funny is I'm only scared of heights when there's water below me. If there's ground, I don't mind it so much. So appreciate having you on the show. And Liz, good luck here in the rest of not only your season, but also your academic career at St. Mary's University. And Eric, good luck on the rest of the season here.
Thank you, guys.
All right, stay tuned. Donny and I will be back, and we will wrap up the Cardinals Nest right after this here on HBC.
Hey, I'm Buddha, inviting you to join me for a brand new show here on HBC TV 25 called Real Attractions. We'll show you trailers from the latest movies to hit theaters and also what's being released on DVD that week. Plus, you have a chance to win free movies by registering at my.hbci.com/realattractions. But you gotta watch to win. So check out Real Attractions here on HBC TV 25, hosted by yours truly, which is why we didn't call it Real Attractive.
Get your reservations now for the Oldie Moldy All-Stars. They'll be at Visions Event Center on Saturday. That is November 20th. And there you see for reservations, you can call 454-3767, $32 a person. They've got a great meal and a couple of concerts as well from the Moldy Oldie All-Stars at St. Mary's. And also the Minnesota Conservatory for the Arts hosting its 6th biennial Sugar Plum Fairy Tea Party. That's Sunday, November 21st. A couple of different settings, and you can call 457-5500 for more information. Thanks for watching the Cardinals Nest here on HBC Channel 25.